This is Carl at Ashlar RV Detroit. I'm going to walk you through this 2023 Forest River Cruise Lite. Okay. The model number is 240 BHXL. Okay. So this is a how-to video where I'm just going to show you some of the features and how they work. So we'll start right here at the door side rear. And you can see you have your low point drains here. That's the low points of the plumbing. That's used when you winterize the trailer. Okay. Of course, you have two doors, entry doors. This one goes right to the bathroom. We'll look at that when we get inside. You have regular crank down stabilizers on this one, but you also have another feature called a strong arm. That would be this yellow piece right here. This T-handle basically tightens, when you tighten it up, it stabilizes this inner tube inside the outer tube. So what you'll do is you'll have this loose when you're bringing this stabilizer up and down. When you crank it down and get it in position, you're going to tighten this up. When you tighten it up, it takes more of the forward and rearward movement out of it, so it just adds more stability to it. Just make sure you loosen it before you crank them back up. There's one on each corner, so only tighten it down tight when you got it stabilized in the position you want, and then make sure you loosen it when you're bringing it up and down. Okay. You have a 3/4 inch crank up front to operate the stabilizers. You have a power awning with LED strip. You have outside speakers. That is the vent for your furnace. Cable TV out or TV signal out. And as well as 120 AC here. This is a spray port. You get a coiled sprayer with this, so you can spray things down. You have an outside kitchen here, and so you have your griddle here. You also get a hose with this, an LP hose that connects here with a quick connect, and then it goes down here, and let's see where the other connect, and it connects right to this quick connect here, so that then you can draw propane right from the tank. So you have that, plus this is your fresh water drain here, the white gate valve. That's to drain your fresh water tank. Let me look back here. Yeah. So you also have the refrigerator, okay? Then, this is the second most common way to get water to your trailer. The most common way is the city water hookup, of course, which is on the other side. But if you're camping someplace that doesn't have a city water hookup, you can pre-fill your fresh water tank right here, and then you can use the onboard pump to pump the water. So keep that in mind. That drain, that white gate valve that I said was the drain for the fresh water, that's for this tank here that I'm referring to right now. So I'll show you where the switch for the pump is when we get inside, but if you don't have city water, you can still run all your plumbing just like you had city water. Everything will work like normal. You just be pumping it out of the tank. Okay. If you have city water, you don't have to worry about the tank or the pump. This is a vent here. This is for your range hood, right over your range. So if you're cooking and you want to vent to the outside, always make sure that this baffle here wants to be flapping freely like it is right now. You can snap it shut if you want, you know, just by pushing it and then snapping it loose that way. But when you're venting, you always want it flapping freely so it vents to the outside. Okay? Alrighty. So as we move down farther, if you're getting a hitch with your trailer, this is the type of hitch you'll be getting. It's a Husky centerline weight distribution hitch with built-in sway control. We'll show you how that operates. Okay. These are your cranks here. I'm going to make sure I'm making a mental note to make sure you get your little adapter there too. The small crank right here is for your power tongue jack in case it fails. You have a power tongue jack, of course, up and down. It has a docking light on it right there. Now, if it ever fails for any reason, you can pull this rubber cap off, and you can use that smaller crank, put it right on there, and you can crank the jack or the tongue jack manually to get yourself out of trouble. So you can always get hitched and unhitched no matter what. So that's a good feature to have. Okay. And you have your strong arms up here, of course. Deep cycle marine battery. 2 LP tanks full with automatic changeover regulator. This is the kill switch for your battery right here. So it's on right now, but if you ever want to disconnect the battery from the trailer, you just shut it off. You don't have to remove a cable. You can just turn it to the off position. Okay. This is a dump hose kit here, and this is a reducer to reduce your core down to a 20 amp. So you can't run the air conditioners when you're plugged into 20 amp or air conditioner, but you can still light it up and, you know, pack your trailer up, that sort of thing. Okay. Alrighty. Okay. So here's your slide room, of course. Your slide room, in case you ever need to know, is a Schwintech. That's the common name for it. There are different types, of course. That one's a Schwintech. It's got a new name now, I think, because it's been bought out by a company named Lippert, but they'll still know what a Schwintech is, so everybody will know. This is your shore cord here, 30 amp at 30 feet long. Okay, these are your dump valves. Okay, you have 2 grays, and then your black is right here. Black is toilet water and waste, and the grays are sink and shower water. Okay, let me just come back here while we're out talking about it. We still haven't cleaned the outside of your trailer, so we're still prepping it right now. City water hookup is right here, the most common way to get water to the trailer. We talked about that. This also has a black tank flush on it right here. So after you dump your black tank, you'll pull the black tank gate valve here, and if you're going to dump, you leave the tank open, or leave the valve open, right, after you've dumped it. Then you'll hook the hose onto this flushing port here. You'll turn it on, and it'll spray out the inside of your black tank, clean off the sensors so you get a good accurate reading, that sort of thing. But like it says on the sticker, you don't want to open the you don't want to turn on the water to the flush unless you have the black tank valve open. Otherwise, too much pressure can build up and cause you problems. So make sure you leave it open when you're doing that. This is your cable and satellite through to the inside of the trailer. You have pre-wire for a backup camera. It's a Furion backup camera kit. Fits there if you're interested. While I'm looking up, the manufacturer states you should inspect the roof every 90 days. So you're just going to look for damage caused by, you know, low branches or road debris flying up there. Look for at the sealant, make sure there's no cracking or separation where water could get through, that sort of thing. Odds are you won't have to do anything for a long time, but you can't see what's happening up there unless you look. So every 90 days somebody should take a look. Okay? So let's go inside. Oh, I want to go back here. I jumped ahead because we were talking about the flush. So this is your water heater here. It works on both gas and electric. You don't want to run it without water in it. Always make sure there's water in it. But I just want to show you that there's the drain. It's also an anode rod. Inch and a 16 6-point socket to remove that. This is your gas burner, and that behind that black cover is a electric heating element. The switches are inside the trailer. I'll show you those when we get inside also. Don't run the water heater without water in the tank. It's got a 6-gallon tank for hot water, so make sure you have water in it before you crank it up, okay? All right, now we can go inside. Okay. First of all, your keys are hanging right here on the kitchen faucet. This is a switch here, but it's a dimmer switch. You use your thumb, just so you know, you pass your thumb over it. You also have these lights here. One is inside. The other one is your awning light. You also have your switch, which is this one here for the power awning, right? Never leave the awning out unattended if you're not going to be at the campsite. Roll it in so it doesn't get damaged by the weather. This is for your slide room here. Make sure there's nothing in the way when you're bringing it in and out. As I look around, I see that you have this right here, so make sure this isn't in the open position once you bring it in, for any reason it's not closed well, you always want everything to be in this proper position. So if it happened to open, or it was open when you had your slide in and you didn't notice it, you would back up and you would break it. It wouldn't be a major big deal to fix it, but just make sure you're aware of everything that's around the slide out when you're going in and out. Okay, so your water pump is on right now. That's for pumping water out of the fresh water tank if you don't have city water. It's also used to winterize the trailer. Your water heater is on, the gas right there. Okay, you have your lights, and of course while we're standing here you have your battery is charged. Fresh water's got water in it because we're prepping it. Black is empty, gray is empty, second gray is empty. Let's walk outside for 1 second. I want to make sure I give you the correct information here. Let's see. Okay, so you see next to the heating element there's a rocker switch right here. That's on, that's off. It should always be off when you're not using it. That controls the electric heating element. So to use it you have to flip that to the on position. Most people when they're camping, they hook up and then they'll turn this they'll make sure there's water in the tank, and then they'll turn this to the on position and they just let the heating element run. And if they need more water, like they're going to shower, they'll kick on the gas burner, and it just gives them, it's not on demand by any means, but it'll give you a faster recovery, so you get a longer shower out of it. So that's where the electric switch is, and the switch I showed you here is to light the gas burner. Okay, so let's move on a little bit here. So first we'll look and see if we got remotes visible. That is your sprayer. There's a coil around here somewhere. Let's see what we got here. This is your packet with your literature in it. Just looking to see what we have. That's a touch-up kit with a crayon and a marker for the, in case you ding anything. This is that is for your light or your sound bar there. Okay, and this one is for your fireplace. Okay, so let me just see if I can pull this out so we can test it while I'm showing it to you. Okay. Bear with me, please. As you can see, I'm the entire video production team. So there we go. Okay, so that's your remote. So there we go, turned on. It runs on AC power, campground power, and so you can see if you go like this, it's 0. That's the fan speed. Do it again. That's low fan speed. I can feel the heat coming out. Hit it again. That's high. Now the heat's really cranking out. Okay, and you can also change the color of the fire. Let's see what else we got here. Let me see here. Yeah, so that changes the crystals, and you can change the color of the fire. Plus, it has a timer on it. So it's really kicking on high right now. It's really kicking out the heat. So let me shut it off here. Okay, so that's the fireplace. The sound bar has a remote also. The sound bar plays FM radio, no AM. It has a USB drive for MP3s. It has Bluetooth, so you can stream from your phone or your tablet. This HDMI is an in. If you want to go into the system, your TV, if you get one, will hang right here. There's a backer there. And you have 2 speaker zones. 1 is inside the trailer, 2 is outside the trailer. So it does that plus more. You know, you have presets and all that, all the usual stuff there. Okay, so that's that. Set these over here. Okay. So let me move on a little bit here. The microwave works like any microwave. This is the range hood here. You got the fan. Remember I told you with the fan, you can wind it up there. You want that vent open so it vents to the outside, and then you have a light on it also. I don't know if he's got the gas turned on. If not, I'll just talk you through it, but we'll see here. This is the sparker. Turn it clockwise. 3 knobs for the 3 burners, and that is the oven. No, it's not on. So anyway, all you do is turn it on and spark it. Same way with the oven. The oven has a pilot light back there. Here, let me see if I can show you. At the bottom and the back there's a pilot light. So you're just going to go to the knob and go to the picture of the pilot light right there, and you're going to depress it. Then you're going to light it, and once it lights down here, you'll just hold it. You'll keep pressing this in, and you'll hold it for another 10 or 15 seconds to heat up the thermocouple. Then you go to whatever temperature you want. When you shut it off, the flame goes out, but so does the pilot light. So you have to relight the pilot light each time you use the oven. And of course you have your light here. Always travel with this closed, but don't close it when the burners are really hot, obviously, but always travel with it closed. Okay, what else do we have here? Winterizing stuff is under there. You have a 12-volt DC refrigerator, so it runs on 12-volt DC, like everything in a trailer does. Anything that can run on 12-volt DC in a trailer does. Some things have to be AC, like the microwave or the air conditioner, but just about everything else is 12-volt DC. This is your carbon monoxide LP gas detector right here. It should always be green. If not, get it serviced. It's very important. There's a test button on it. You can test it audibly. So if it's not working, get it fixed immediately. It's not expensive and it's very important. It's also hardwired to the battery, just so you know. That's the smoke detector, of course. I'm looking for a component here. Let me look around a bit. See where I missed it. Let's just keep going this way for now. Your thermostat, this is the mode button. You just hit the mode button and keep hitting it till you get to heat or air conditioning, whatever you want. Then you set the temperature and you're all set. Okay, the toilet works like any RV toilet in that it sits right over a black tank. You have a flush pedal right here. So when you get to the campground, you hook up your power and your water. Your black tank's going to be empty because you flushed it when you left the last campground, or you dumped it when you left the last campground. So what you do is you hook up your power and your water. Then you come in here, you throw a dose of chemical in the bowl. Then you step on the pedal until you put at least a gallon of water in the tank below, along with the chemical. You can use more than a gallon. Don't use less. More is better. So keep that in mind. Never use it dry. By dry I mean not including chemical and water. And make sure you do that. Obviously, if you don't do that, it'll get all clogged up. It'll just be a mess. So keep that in mind. Your table can drop down and sit on those cleats. You can turn it into a bed. Plus, you have your bunks, of course. Pantry. Okay. So this is the emergency window here. Obviously, you just push it through and then you grab a hold of the tab and pull the screen out if if you have to make an emergency escape. There's also storage underneath the bed here, a little bit. Okay. Okay, so let me look a little more. I'm missing something I want to show you. Let me find it. Oh, there it is right there. Kind of dark down there. Is there more light somewhere? Let me see. Okay, this is the power converter. This converts AC to DC power. So you can see that if I open it up, it's got circuit breakers here, 120 AC circuit breakers, just like you'd see at home, and they're labeled. That's the AC side. That's where, as long as you're plugged into shore power, you'll have 120 AC right there. Then the power is converted to 12 volt DC. Remember I told you everything runs on 12 volt DC. So it's converted to 12 volt DC on this side, and you have 12 volt DC fuses here, okay? Then it will sense how much energy your battery up on the tongue has and needs, and it'll send as many amps as necessary to keep it charged. So it's a battery tender. So it's all about 12 volt, and so you have your 12 volt distribution, or your 120 AC distribution panel here, 12 volt distribution panel. It converts 12 volt, or excuse me, 120 AC to 12 volt DC. It charges your battery. Of course, it has to be plugged in to do that. So keep that in mind. This comes off here. Let me just take that off. So like half on, half off. Okay. Alrighty. So that's that. Let me look around. I think we've covered it all here. Okay. Okay. So I want to thank you for purchasing your trailer here at National RV Detroit. Please remember what I said about inspecting the roof every 90 days. That's very important. You can read up on it if you want, but it's very important. And right now the antifreeze has been purged from the system and replaced with fresh water. So the valves on the water heater are in the correct position, and you're all set, ready to camp. Okay? Thank you.